What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Havoc Sports Podcast, episode 39. We are talking about the madness in March, baby.
The March of the Madness. It's a good time to be alive right now. I think everybody looks forward to the March Madness, even if you're not a basketball fan or even a college basketball fan. Everybody ends up filling the bracket out and participating in that type of activity. But we're down to, I think, we're narrowing it down to the 8 as we speak. But
halfway through this,
I think we're at the Sweet 16 now.
Halfway through Sweet 16.
Yep. So it's a good time to kind of cover what games are going on, and there's a couple games that have already been played, so we could talk about the outcome of those. And
So let's just go ahead and break down some of the games that were played last night. If you don't know, we record this on Friday, comes to you on Saturday. So we're referring to last night. We're talking about Thursday. So first up, we'll just go right on into it. Florida, Maryland. This was a pretty close game for quite a while. Maryland was keeping it close, but could never catch up to tie them or to take the lead. They just kept pushing, and then Florida would pull away.
Yeah, you could just tell that they had more offensive capabilities. You know what I mean? And
they're just a more talented team. As much as it stinks.
They just got more talent. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. Florida's been tough all year. Florida's never. I don't think last year. I don't even know if I heard of Florida last year, to be honest. But this year they put together a pretty good team.
They got a really strong.
But I still think that they're not the toughest number one seed in the bracket here.
No.
But they're definitely looking pretty strong, beating a number 4 seed by 16 points.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'm going to skip this next one we have on the list. We're going to go to that one last for the Thursday night games. Duke, Arizona. I think that even though they weren't ranked as it, I think this is the number one team in Duke.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're by far the fan favorite. And this game was actually a lot closer than what I predicted to be.
I figured this Duke team was going to be, like UConn last year where they blow teams out by 30, 40 plus because they got so many players to score the ball. But, Arizona really showed up to play last night. And, I didn't get to watch any of the game now that I'm thinking about it because it was played at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was played
at work. But from what I saw, Cooper Flagg played a pretty good game. Passed the ball real well. Shot the ball real well. Saw a couple times Arizona was leaving Cooper Flagg wide open from the three-point line.
Can't do that.
Yeah, don't know what that game plan is. College. But, that's just like leaving – I don't know. I don't get that, but, stuff happens.
And I think a lot of people pick Duke as their number one team because when you look at the bracket, Duke does have the easiest bracket by far.
Right.
The road to the finals. Cooper Flagg was just getting way too many open looks in a game that it's close and you have a chance to pull off an upset. You made too many mistakes in the end, and I think that does speak volume for Duke. Even when the pressure's on them and the game's getting close, Duke was able to maintain and definitely not panic because a lot of the times when you see a number one team and it gets close between an upset alert chance, that number one team really starts to panic and everything that they've been known for and all the fundamentals start to really fall apart. So to see that out of Duke and see them be able to maintain that excellence that they've been on, I think that really stood out to me as, this is definitely a team that could be in the finals.
The only thing that really worries me, not really worries me, but will prove to me that Duke is the number one team is their next game. We're going to talk about them in a second, but they're playing a really tough team that proved last night as well that they're no team that should be a 2 seed. You know what I mean? But with that being said, we can go right into the next game, that being BYU versus Alabama. BYU kind of, they weren't bad. You know what I mean?
10 minutes they were in it.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes, but at the same time, here's another team where I'm like, what? How did they get so good? So
they're just hot for a while. But the thing about Alabama is, they're the number one scoring team in the league, period. The issue with Alabama is their defense. And when they can have a good defensive night, you see games like this. I mean, 113 points in a college game is
crazy.
It's rare to see. And Alabama has done this quite a bit through the season. So to come out into the Sweet 16, you have Duke next if you win. And to be able to go against the number 6 seed team in BYU, that is a pretty good team. And to be able to put on a dominant show like this,
yeah,
is exactly what you want.
I was looking at the stat line last night, and Mark Sears is nasty.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's gonna be amazing to watch him and Cooper Flagg just to see who can score, the most points. Because Alabama ain't playing no defense, like you said.
No,
they're giving up 88 points to the number 6 seed. Okay, so you put out 5 people that can score the ball with Duke. You give them the ball, they're going to go score no matter who's on them. It's going to be 100 point. Maybe they could both score 100 points.
You're just trying to duel with Duke. That's your game plan. Now, you can't stop Duke. You haven't been able to stop BYU. So pretty much your game plan going into every match is, can we outduel them? Can we outshoot them? Can we outscore them? I mean, technically that's the objective of basketball. But when you're a team with no defense, you have no other option to outscore them. That's it. You gotta be efficient. You gotta score.
Especially when you got Sears. I mean, he's just ISOing people for buckets. I mean, he literally looks like James Harden out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's nasty.
That was.
I watched a couple of those highlights too. I was like, well, who is this dude? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, definitely. March Madness. I feel like the first 2 rounds are about survival. And when you want to start getting hot and really start piecing things together and looking like a very effective and powerful team is Sweet 16 on. Because the round of 32, 64 and 32, that's just your survival from upsets. But when you get down to 16, it's like, okay, these are the good teams. So to be able to come into the good team group and win like that, definitely speaks volume around.
100%. Going to the last game. Last night.
This was a game I watched through and through. You got Texas Tech number 3, Arkansas number 10.
What a game!
If you watched and shut it off at halftime, Arkansas probably won by 20 in your eyes. Arkansas was manhandling Texas Tech. At one point, they were up by 16. I mean, this wasn't close. I was texting our group chat like, there goes my Final Four pick in Texas Tech. I thought they were really strong, and I just kept saying, I'm like, ugh. And then they started chipping a little bit, and then they're in that last, 3 minutes. They cut it. They go to overtime on a crazy 3. That was probably one of the ugliest looking shots I've ever seen in my life. Go to overtime. Win by 2 real close to a buzzer beater. Arkansas had one last look at it, and it wasn't anything great. Then they had a tip-in chance, and they defended themselves by smacking it away from their player. But this was a game. Their point guard, I believe it's Hawkins, I believe it's E.J. Hawkins. Terrible game from him. One of their leaders, and you still get a win.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you can walk away like that, you're not feeling great, but you're feeling a lot more confident in yourself and the rest of your team to be able to pick you up.
Right, 100%. But at the same time, Arkansas loses. A lot of people were questioning, Coach Calipari. You're moving to Arkansas, not a lot of big history there. Why are you going there? He's built this place.
Yeah.
They're going to be a big contender for a long time if Coach Calipari stays there. There always could be another team that offers him more money. You never know.
Yeah.
But Arkansas is going to be very good for the next coming years with Coach K or Coach C in there. Like you said, Texas Tech struggled all game.
Yeah.
But they kind of were playing against the refs a little bit. Couple questionable calls. Couple whoa, why are you calling that? Let them play. Let them play. Let them play. You know what I mean? But that's the NBA as well. So what we're trying to get away from is those fouls.
And I think too, I think Coach Calipari forgot I think he forgot his true passion of coaching at Kentucky because he just got into this cycle of freshmen out, freshmen, just constantly sending them to the NBA. And interviews they were asking, one of the things that he said that stuck out to me, because I've been watching him as a Kentucky fan myself and kind of lost my liking for Calipari, but definitely earned some respect back when he's like, I will never be putting 5 freshmen out there to start again. That's never happening again. And it's like, okay, this guy is getting his want to coach, his want to win championships, his want to succeed in college basketball instead of his vision of send him to the NBA. He's getting that back. So definitely got a lot of respect back from a Kentucky fan.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
And they're going to be successful. He's a draw, right?
Right.
Coach Calipari. That was the Kentucky coach. He's won a national championship.
He's won. So he's got a lot of NBA players.
They're going to be getting some draw, and Arkansas is not going to be going anywhere.
But, yeah.
So, into tonight's games.
Let's go. That should be starting here soon, actually, right as we're recording this.
Auburn, Michigan. This is all. I'm
Michigan
worried.
has a Cinderella story going here.
I have Auburn winning it all in my bracket, and I'm worried because I haven't seen Auburn dominate one team. Even in the sweets or against the 16 seed, which I believe they won by 20. But if you watch that game, it was junk time points is where they took off. Auburn was not pulling away from that team. They did it again in the round 32, didn't look confident. And now here we are. You got to take care of business. Creighton was a very good 9 seed. A very good 9 seed. So to win that, that's great, but Michigan has nothing to lose.
No, and they got a tough lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they got 2 7-footers. You know, it's hard to line up against 2 7-footers, especially if you don't even have a guy that's 7 foot. You know what I mean? So it makes any team hard to match up. You know, we've seen it in the Big Ten as an IU fan. They just kind of dominated you in the paint and on boards. They're a scrappy team, and like you said, they got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So this will make them even more scrappy. So it's kind of a team that you're scared of, even if it's not a 1 seed, just because, you know, they should have been knocked out last week. I think it was last week when they played or whatever. Yeah. So it's going to be a good game. I really, like you, I have Auburn winning it all for my bracket as well. I hope Auburn wins, but it wouldn't make me mad to see Big Ten repping out. So, go Big Ten.
Now up next, Ole Miss 6 seed against Michigan State, a 2 seed.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, Ole Miss. And here's the thing: I want to say this out loud for everybody. I have Ole Miss going this far so far, and I have them beating Michigan State. So if they beat Michigan State, I got to be on top of the leaderboard in my bracket, right? I mean, a lot of people have Michigan State going to their Final Four.
Yeah, I have Michigan State in, I think, my Elite 8. I'll keep talking while I'm searching it up, but, I mean, Michigan State's been a good team, but the history of Michigan State in an NCAA March Madness bracket has never been something to keep your eyes peeled for.
Yeah, everybody's saying that Coach Izzo is he's on his redemption tour. He's got a team that he thinks is right, blah, 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 blah. Michigan State has said that so many dang times that I could count it out loud. I feel like when they had Miles Bridges, when he went there, they were like, oh, they're going to win the tournament, and they didn't even break the 32. You know what I mean? So
I have them losing to Auburn in my Elite 8.
Yeah.
That is where so I have them winning this game. Ole Miss has been scrappy, though.
Ole Miss has been
playing
nasty.
with that dog in them. And
that's the one team I looked at when they against Iowa State, because Iowa State kind of was like a shoot-heavy team.
Yeah.
And so when just like St. John's, when you're not shooting the ball well, it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, we talked about, we said it a couple times in this podcast, getting hot when it matters most. You get into the Sweet 16, you're playing with a hot hand. I'm telling you, we haven't had a lot of We haven't had like crazy upsets.
This is one.
This could be one. Definitely to look out for.
Ole Miss. I said Big Ten in the last matchup. Let's go Ole Miss second matchup.
All
right. Moving on. Here we go.
One.
This is close to home. Houston versus Purdue. This is at 10 o'clock.
Technically,
huh?
Home court advantage for Purdue.
Or are they playing at
Indy.
Bakers?
Lucas.
Oh, they're playing at Lucas?
So, I mean, Indiana.
Yeah,
Purdue.
I didn't know that.
You're going to have the...
Yeah, I mean, Houston's tough.
Yeah,
they got a good
Houston's
defense.
Good.
I really, to be honest, Purdue, to me, doesn't look that tough. I don't know how they've made it this far.
Well,
I'm an IU
McNeese.
fan, but, like...
They play McNeese.
They've had a pretty easy bracket to get through here to this point. And in my perspective, you got Braden Smith, and I don't even know any of the other guys.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much watching... you got
that one...
the center. Is it Kaufman?
Yeah, something like that.
He's not bad, but majority of your plays come from a pick with an ISO for Smith.
With Houston at defense?
Yeah, in round one, Smith was having a bad game, and that was closer than it should have been. Granted, Kaufman took over the game down the stretch and really closed that out with dominance, but you're getting to the time where you don't have time to have an off game. You really don't have that option. I mean, like we said, Texas Tech, their guard had his off game, and it took a 16-point Mount comeback, and you won by 2 in overtime.
2 points in overtime.
So
and
really, realistically, that option's not there to have a bad game. I don't see a world where Purdue's good enough to overtake Houston.
No.
I'm not going to lie. Home crowd could keep it close. I think if this wasn't home court, slight advantage, I think this is like a 15-point blowout. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, 10,
I don't
15
think Purdue's...
I'm just worried about their offense.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these teams that are left, including the ones that went on to the Elite Eight, I think Purdue's the worst team there.
Yeah. Yeah, Arkansas smoking them.
Yeah, not to be mean, but I think Purdue's the worst team here on this list.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it's close. I just haven't seen anything from them that makes me go, oh, yeah, this team could possibly upset Houston. Right. And, I mean, it's March Madness, so...
They could come out like a completely
somebody
different
could clip
team.
this statement, but from what we've seen, and, I mean...
They're junk.
That's our job. As people breaking down the game on a podcast, our job is to break down what we've seen, not what could happen in the future. And from what we're seeing,
they're junk.
It's not good.
No.
It's just not. Then the game of the night.
Game of the night. I mean, haven't you guys played these people before?
Twice. Beat them twice. Now we got to beat them when it matters.
Yeah, that's no good.
Kentucky.
Especially with your guys' luck.
In Tennessee.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest rivalries. One of Kentucky's biggest rivalry.
Where are they playing at?
I believe it's all in... I'm pretty sure it's all in Indy for 16-8.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
I did not know that.
No, because there's 2 games going on at once. So, I don't know where the other one... One of them is in Indianapolis, is where some of the games are being held.
I feel like that's Purdue.
And I don't know... Yeah, they have home court.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know the other location, because they do have 2 games going on roughly the same time.
Right.
But this... You beat them twice. Kentucky has been known to play up to their competition. They've tied the record for beating top 15 teams. So, I don't know. Tennessee's looking...
They're looking tough,
good.
Dude.
Kentucky's playing good.
It's going to be a good game. I ain't going to lie.
And they've shown they can do it. So, it's not out of the picture. But, man.
Besides that Auburn and Michigan game, actually, I'd say the best of the games are on tonight.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
you
sure.
look at it. That Ole Miss and Michigan State game's no slouch. Auburn and Michigan, definitely no slouch. And then you got Kentucky and Tennessee. That Houston and Purdue game's on at 10 o'clock for a reason. Ain't nobody going to stay up and watch that junk.
Yeah.
It's a blowout.
That Kentucky-Tennessee game's going to be...
It's going to be nasty because here's the thing is Kentucky's got everything to prove. They got a new coach. No one knows if he's really worth the finals and going... Or not the finals, sorry. The championship and winning the championship. No one knows his coach caliber type of thing. If he makes it to even the championship, he's going to be, I would say, labeled as a good coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's everything on the line for them.
And Kentucky's been known, as of late as being the 2 seed that gets bounced.
Yep.
I mean, it's happened 2 of the last 3 seasons. So now, you made a slight run. You made it out of the safe rounds like you should. Now, can you prove it? Can you prove that you deserve to compete with these top dogs? I love Kentucky. I've watched Kentucky all year. One of the biggest issues I have with them, consistency. It's not there. You're playing up to competition, then you're playing down to competition.
100%.
So this is going to
depends
be
who shows up tonight. Like, they got to come out and play like they've been playing. And here's the thing, another coaching aspect, don't switch your game up. It's been working.
Let Oweh cook.
Yeah, if Tennessee comes out to try to stop your game plan, who cares? Everybody's trying to stop your game plan, and they have not been successful. Don't change your game plan because you played them 2 times in a row.
Yep. And
or
this
2
is a different
times
Kentucky.
this season.
Usually you're seeing the 5 freshman starters, and they just never come out. And now you're seeing that rotation. Everyone's getting involved. You have your standout players. Oweh is going to have to be on tonight.
Yeah, he's going to have to be
huge for Kentucky. Prove it. He didn't like the remarks of what that one Tennessee player posted with him flipping off the Kentucky background painting from when they were in the arena. Show us that you're not going to be disrespected. Let's see it tonight. It's going to be a great game.
Yep. I think it's the best game on the night for sure.
My bracket so far for the Sweet 16, I start off 4 for 4. Let's keep it rolling.
Yep.
I'm trying to clean sweep.
I got everybody that was in here besides Arkansas and BYU because they upset Wisconsin.
I had everyone in here
and Michigan.
For Arkansas.
Actually, did I have? No, I had Michigan in there.
Arkansas and Ole Miss were the only 2 I missed.
Yeah. So 2-2. Yeah, we're doing decent. I would say there's like I think we said in the last podcast, there hasn't been as many upsets.
No, this has been
there usually is. I feel like people are now trying to
this year you got hurt for picking upsets.
Yeah, they're trying to predict the upsets now, and it's hurting.
I had Akron in my Sweet 16.
Oh, why?
That's where I thought the Cinderella story was going to be, and it was Arkansas.
Nice, but that's episode 39. Some March of the Madness, because who wouldn't want some March of the Madness in March at the end of March? So we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. A little bit of a different subject to cover. Like I said, we kind of enjoy this time of year just because it's a big time for basketball, and we love basketball. So, and Colton's a big Kentucky fan.
Oh yeah.
I can't talk much because I'm an IU fan. They don't make this stuff, so it's none of it's okay.
Maybe next year.
Hey, episode 39. We appreciate everything, guys. We'll see you next week.
Go Auburn.